Yo, hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Jank Heroes Remix. So essentially, what Jank Heroes Remix is
It's a remix of Jank Heroes, and if you don't know what Jank Heroes is, look through Jet's videos to find it.
No, stop. Matt's finny on a wild goose chase that elite nowhere. So Jank Heroes is a game that we played last semester, but it was a game that I made up, but we never did videos of. So now with Matt's remix version of my game, which I'm going to explore the lore of and make a character for now. Oh, sorry, Mr. Hand. I forgot all about the pseudonym.
Yeah, stop trying
damn.
to blow it.
I didn't mean to blow your secret identity, Matt. Yo, this live chat's supposed to be up, but it's not refreshing itself. So if anyone's saying anything, I've missed it so far, but don't worry. YouTube's just fucking around really hard.
That's an error, Jet.
We'll get
there. This stream was an error.
This stream is not an error. It's the live chat that's an error. Come on, go, 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 go. I want to see what the people are saying.
When nobody actually said anything?
What do you mean no one's actually said anything? I feel like when we see the live chat, it's going to say pineapples. Do you think I'm right?
I mean, you have a person in your stream that says pineapples a lot.
Well, I mean, you also have the faith then. I see you. So we're almost there. And it's loading. Yo, pineapples was the first thing. Bofatura said, Matt is a weeb faggot. Torvor said, yo, what's up? Bofatura is Jared.
Yeah, that sounds about what I expected.
Oh, Jared actually sent me a message. Okay. So Jared said, sorry, I was in class. I'm still busy right now. Apparently not too busy where you can't watch the stream to call Matt a weeb.
Of course.
Yo, Torvor, welcome to the stream. It's good to see you, Kirby. And yo, Jared, good to have you. So right now we're playing Jank Heroes, which is an RPG that I made up back in the day. But this is Jank Heroes Remix, which is a remix version created by Matt. Matt, explore the world. Give us an introduction.
Like you were supposed to read it, Jet.
Yo, if you read it to me, then I can react to like the vocal reading.
But there's a lot.
There is a lot. He wrote multiple pages of this remix.
Which was mostly copy-paste.
What do you mean it's mostly copy-paste? Let me hit it up.
Yeah, see, there we go, Jet.
We'll take turns. I'll do Bond, and then you can do Affinity Chart, and then you can also do Soul. How about... Fuck it, I don't know. We'll find some way to make this work. So, the Bond dimension, through a selfless act, merged with the Crystal dimension to make the Crystal dimension. Matt, first things first, a selfless act. Are the dimensions sentient now?
Why wouldn't they be sentient?
What the fuck, Matt? What's their like actual name then? Since they're like sentient beings.
The Bond dimension and Crystal dimension. Jet.
No, Matt. There's no way. If you learned that the Earth was like a being, would you just still call it the Earth?
Yeah.
No, you'd probably call it Gaia or something. I mean, it's the same thing.
I mean, sometimes the Earth is called Gaia, so you know.
How about you call... I feel like they need names if they're a thing.
Okay, I'll call the Bond dimension Dave and...
Dave?
Dave and the Crystal dimension Crystalina.
Crystalina and Dave. Why is the Bond dimension Dave? That's such a like mundane name.
Well, you wanted names, Jet.
That's so basic.
Leave it as Bond dimension and Crystal dimension.
I'm gonna make a remix of Matt's remix at a certain point.
So in other words, Jank Heroes gets postponed even longer.
Nah, dude. We'll play like all the versions.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like a good idea.
We'll play all the versions. So, however, most traces of the Bond dimension vanished. That's bullshit too. Kirby said, "Are you going to do a Duel Link stream later?" The plan is to do a whole bunch of streams tonight. So definitely stay tuned. Matt, are you prepared for a stream-a-thon?
I mean, I don't want to do all streams.
Oh, of course not. Because, see, the streams are always part stream, part whatever game's being played.
I mean,
so it's never all
more like relaxing and not streaming.
How is the stream not relaxing?
Because it's not always.
Pusha. Yo, let's see. At the time of fusion, the Crystal Dimension sent out an energy wave throughout the multiverse. This wave contained the last portions of the Bond dimension and gave life to the ability to grow stronger throughout the power of bonds.
I may not have checked everything when I was writing.
If all life were to die, so would Bond. So Bond now is a part of all life, but it fused with the Crystal dimension, but then it didn't because it spread. So the Crystal dimension...
Like
the Bond dimension.
Like basically the Bond dimension fused with the Crystal dimension to make it more stable.
It doesn't feel like a fusion. Like they're both sentient beings, and then they seem to collide. But the collision ended up having the bond dimension just kind of blow the fuck up and spread everywhere.
Well, like most of the bond dimension's energy went into the crystal dimension. It was only like sort of like an energy wave of the bond dimension that went out to throughout the multiverse.
So why is the bond too much for the crystal dimension to handle, to where it like spills out? I shouldn't be able to catch you that quick.
It's because of how the fusion is. It was such a powerful fusion.
There's always a reason to fuse. Kirby said the streams aren't relaxing; they are epic.
Exactly. See, if they're epic, then they can't be relaxing.
Why can't they be epically relaxing?
Because that's not how those two words work, Chet.
I feel like that's definitely how they work. So making them sentient beings, I think, is a cool idea, Matt. For the different dimensions. Having bond spread through all life is also interesting, I guess. Does that mean everyone contains a little bit of Dave? Because now they have names. So like,
I mean, I wasn't gonna name them, but if you want to name them.
Wait a minute. Okay, it's like using bond points or whatever. No, it's going to be whatever your Zool thing is.
Well, Zool is part of like the bond system.
Read an affinity chart or whatever. I mean, you wrote it.
The subspace communicator can keep track of an individual's bond with others. Bond goes from a value of 0 to 10, and negative bond prevents progression with that specific individual. So
negative bond keeps you from gaining more bond. You can only have up to 10 bond. Bond got nerfed hella hard. And then
10 bond per person.
Per person.
Like it's a 0 to 10 rating per person.
That's still nerfed.
Well, like bond works completely. It's not advantage and disadvantage.
Oh, true. Oh, so it already was a nerf. You're right.
It's not a nerf, Jeff. It's actually a system of progression.
So bond is now leveling up instead of your
not entirely.
Instead of being like
it's
expendable
bond's multiple things. It's not just low. It's not just like RPG elements.
So subspace communicators are scrolls now?
Jet, stop comparing everything to Ruby. I didn't take my ideas from Ruby.
Oh, come on. Your bond is essentially like aura now, and then your subspace communicator can read like other people's aura and tell you how much they have and shit. It's a scouter. Your subspace communicator is a fucking scouter.
Other entities have done this, Jet.
Mm-hmm. Zool. Zool was never in my original game. It's Zool?
Zool.
So it's like soul with a Z.
Yes.
It's a Z soul. Dragon Ball. Anyways.
Darn it, Jet.
Zool is the power of bonds manifested. All people have bonds in the same capacity, but only those
capacity.
Oh, in some instead of same. Okay, I got you.
That one I do remember.
But only those that choose to fight have Zools. The power of Zool increases with bonds that be utilized. That was ghetto as fuck. With bonds that be utilized to unlock the potential of an individual. Nah, it's that be utilized. The bonds that be utilized, fam. They got to be utilized, my guy. So Zool has to do. It's still fuck Zool. That's gonna be really hard.
It's gonna be the new Wise.
It is the new Wise. Yo, so hit me up with what's the next section?
Zool meter and Zool burst.
Zool meter and Zool burst.
The first bond that an individual raises to level 5 or the value of 5.
Value of 5. So halfway to like max bond.
Will grant the individual access to the Zool meter and Zool burst.
Zool meter and Zool burst.
The Zool meter keeps a record of what Zool bursts are available and how many of each are available. And Zool bursts are the most potent manifestations of bond. They are powerful actions that can have a variety of effects based upon the particular bond. Zool bursts are unlocked at the 5th and 10th value level of bond with a person, granting an individual up to 2 bond if you get up to 10.
Whoa, hold on. What the fuck was the last thing you said about up to 2?
I said that you can get to a value of 5 and 10 for Zool bursts. When you get to 10, you have 2 of the same Zool bursts.
So it does a double burst, or you just have 2 available?
You have 2 available to you in the meter.
Okay. So you said it differs depending on what the bond is.
So, like, for example, say you have a bond with, like...
Dave.
No, not Dave.
You can't have a bond with Bond?
You can't have a bond with the Bond dimension. That doesn't really exist
But the
anymore.
Bond dimension's sentient, though.
It doesn't really exist anymore because it's fused.
So can I have one with Crystalline?
I guess, but not really.
So I can have a bond with the Crystal dimension. What would that Zolburst be
That
like?
would be something. It also depends on the person bonding with it. It's a two-way street.
So is it like a fusion power between the two of you?
Sort of, except you're not really fusing. It's more like it's based on how your bond developed as it went up.
Let's name like 2 fictional characters real quick. If Ben 10 and Goku had a Zolburst,
Who's using the Zolburst?
Ben is.
Ben is using the. And who's the other person again?
Goku.
Goku.
You got to think about these things. You're the game master now.
It would probably go ahead and do something where that would probably just be like a big attack. Like it can be a variety of things. It can be like a big attack. It can be like effects towards you or effects towards the opponent. Like in that situation, it would probably, because that's very, like it's a very weird bond. Ben 10 and Goku would probably just be a Kamehameha.
So Ben could do a Kamehameha?
Well, it'd be more like, what am I trying to say? Not a spirit of Goku, but like...
Oh, it's like a father-son Kamehameha where Goku's dead kind of thing, and like his spirit appears as you
like a
shoot
vision
behind you.
Vision of the person you're bonded would appear.
And then, is there anything special about the Kamehameha wave?
It might have like certain attributes from like the bond with Ben 10. It might be like, for example, maybe it would have been merged. Like when Vision Goku does it, it might be engulfed in fire as well from like Heat Blast or something like that.
Ooh, could it be different depending on what alien form he was?
Maybe. Like that's a very weird circumstance because it probably wouldn't even necessarily be that because Ben himself is still obviously just a guy. He's just a regular guy. It'd probably be more based around that than any one of his aliens.
But he has the Omnitrix and it's bound to.
Then maybe it would have been something with the Omnitrix. Like that's the thing though, is that
that's cool.
Like it's really based around what you would have as a character in the first place. Like it's really strange just coming up with one off top of that head because I also don't really know how the bond would have developed in the first place.
Well, that gets into some dangerous fan fiction territory.
Right.
Yo, Blanca Molina, welcome to the stream. Right now we're talking about
because that's what it
RPG
is. It's like how did the bond develop? Who are the characters that are bonding?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what determines what a bond burst does.
Okay. Ben is traveling with his plumber crew or whatever, and he passes by Namek. It's about to explode, and he
just comes in right when Namek was supposed to blow up in 5 minutes.
Ben flies in his jet ray and swoops up Goku before the planet would explode, and they get away in the Rust Bucket number 5 or whichever one is the fucking spaceship one.
I thought Jet Ray couldn't fly.
What do you mean Jet Ray couldn't fly? Jet Ray can swim and fly.
I'm thinking of someone else. I think.
Are you thinking of like Ripjaws or something?
No, not Ripjaw. Like blue speed alien.
Blue speed. Are you thinking Accelerate?
Accelerate. There we go.
Okay, there we go. There's another blue speed alien that gets introduced later. Fast Track. That's his name.
When they just keep introducing aliens of the same type.
There are a lot of lightning ones, which there was a time where I was like, why are there no lightning ones? And then I thought about it, and I was like, there's a ton. Blanca Molina said Namek, DBZ. What show are you talking about? So right now, we're talking about Jank Heroes, which is a game that I made last semester, but my friend Mr. Hand.
Oh, now I'm Mr. Hand.
Yeah, introduce your hand, Mr. Hand. He doesn't like being on camera. He remixed my old game, Jank Heroes. What we're talking about right now is he introduced this new mechanic called a Zolburst, which is soul, but with a Z.
Not Z soul.
But it is a Z soul. He's ripping off Dragon Ball Z, but he doesn't realize it.
I'm not Jet. My soul. There are other entities that use Zol.
Mm-hmm. So, essentially, a Zolburst involves 2 characters building a relationship with each other and then demonstrating a power that has to do with their relationship. Blanca, it's like the fucking attacks in Ruby where they have the ship name.
Jet?
Is that what the Zolburst are called?
Jet?
Would it be Boku?
No, no.
It's Gin. So Blanca Molina said, and have you heard Dokkan Battle? And you made a game? Neat. Yeah, I made a game back in the day, but this is the remix version made by Mr. Han, so credit goes to him for the remix.
Even though it's more or less a copy of his.
It's really different, actually. And then, and yeah, we actually have Dokkan Battles on the stream. If you're not subscribed, make sure to smash that button.
But Dokkan Battle's a bad game, so don't play it.
We also have a playlist of Dokkan Battle videos that we've done. And I honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of Dokkan Battle. I like doing summons, but I don't like the board game part of it. If it was just the fighting part, I'd enjoy it a lot.
The fighting part's not even that good.
It's all right. It's better than rolling the fucking die and running around. It's not. It's a really boring way to travel across a stage. They could have made that like an infinite runner portion where you fly.
That sounds really like, and I wouldn't mesh well with like their battle system.
Well, I mean, the board game doesn't mesh well with
I think
the
it meshes better than a like infinite runner.
Well, the infinite runner, instead of you like, well, for one, you'd be flying, right? And then you'd want to like swipe your finger past enemies and shit. But if you happen to run into an enemy along the way,
so in other words, so in other words, there's no incentive to fighting.
Well, you can always,
because that's the thing. If you're incentivizing your player not to fight, then what's the point in having fights in the first place?
You can get items, and some fights are unavoidable in the board game. So there'd be a similar thing where when you're flying around, there would be like there's nowhere to go but into a fight kind of thing.
Hey, 520th subscriber.
Oh, yo. So Blanca Molina said, I have subbed. Thank you kindly. I appreciate it. And
see, now I couldn't have been the 520th sub yet because
you could have, because she beat you to it.
Because Blanca Molina stole my 520th sub.
Well, not assuming gender. They beat you to it.
I didn't say.
Oh, I did. I said she.
Good job.
And I have
stereotyping your comments based on their names. God.
And I have surprisingly never seen a Dokkan from you. Lol. And right now, you should not play. It's dead. It's so dead. And that it has been beaten Yamcha death count. Lol. Yeah, Dokkan Battle does feel a little dead. If they introduce the thing they did in the Japanese version, where they have Dragon Ball Fusion characters being added, I'm trying to make an all fusion team. So like, I need that. I need that.
They don't have that many fusions, even though they have way more than enough to pick from.
I mean, they really don't have a lot of fusions. Like even in the show. Because they don't count certain things. Like Boo absorbing things isn't a fusion. The fucking thing that's called the Ultimate Fusion is from a movie where it was like a fusion android. That's not a fucking fusion.
Oh, no, not. I'm thinking of Super Android 17.
Nah, that's GT.
Yeah, that's GT.
And also, shouldn't he count as a fusion? He's literally the two androids put together.
I mean, Cell's not a fusion.
He kind of feels like he should be too. It's because they're not like fusion dance or Potara earrings. So I get where they're coming from, but
it's like Piccolo and Nail.
Yeah, and that's assimilation. They should have another name for it. I guess because you can say those are absorbed characters. It's not the same thing. But fair enough. Oh, by the way, in case you guys, because I don't want to confuse people. Yeah, we're still talking about Jank Heroes Remix. It's a remix version of a game I made last semester. The remix was made by Mr. Hand, who's here on the couch with me. What is the next part?
Let's see here. If an individual has negative bond with someone that they have a Zolburst with, they will not be able to use it.
So if you get negative bond, but you already have the Zolburst, you just can't do it.
You can't do it. You have to fix it.
So if Goku was like,
I hate you, Ben 10. -3 bond. You
-3 bond?
It probably actually wouldn't be that severe.
That is pretty severe.
Like I think 1 or 2 bond, like up and down, is generally how I feel bond should be going up and down.
What do you think Ben would have to do to Goku to get -3 bond?
Be like, Goku, you gotta become Kami.
You gotta be God. Fuck. Yeah, Goku didn't take kindly to that shit. Let's see.
And now we've got a little Zol shop.
Ben should be Kami. He could be Alien X. He'd be better than any Kami before him. Yo, so there's a Zol shop.
So basically, because of how bond works, you accumulate bond with many different people.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like your bank of bond.
Mm-hmm.
And you use that to improve your inner self.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a couple of different trees. There's like a basic stat tree, which boosts your stats.
So that's the thing in the middle.
Yes.
Okay. Then there's gadget users, crystal users. Is that all the classes?
Well, I go further into it a little bit later. Like those are like the two main ones.
Wait, can you do everything? Can you have gadgets and be a crystal person?
You could
use the thing. That wasn't kept from being a thing in the other game either. Like if you had a crystal thing, you happen to get a gadget, then it would just work.
But like in terms of like your skills and stuff like that,
what's a forward counter? Oh, yo, Torvor said Goku's an alien, right? Ben can become aliens by touching them, right? Ben can become a Saiyan? It's not by touching them. Sometimes the Omnitrix senses them in the area and just says like, new DNA registered.
I mean, Goku would be new DNA.
And then other times, the Omnitrix works by getting like hit by the alien, like scratched or something, and then that's how it gets the DNA registered.
Well, then you do either have Goku punch it,
yeah,
or have
Hazard's Vegeta says, "Hey, welcome to the stream."
Or have the one gray matter guy. I forgot what his name was.
Gray matter. Oh, Azimuth.
Azimuth.
Unlock the sand. It's locked in the Omnitrix. That'd be some bullshit. Hazard's Vegeta said Half-Life 2 Episode 1 2006 exploring YouTube gaming. YouTube has a problem when you put in a game that it doesn't know exists. So it's probably labeling this episode as Half-Life 2 Episode 1.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
This is why you don't make videos about things that don't exist.
It exists now. There's a video about it. But yeah, right now we're talking about Jank Heroes Remix. Jank Heroes is a game that I made last semester, and Mr. Hand over here has created a remix version of it. I love how you didn't show your hand.
I mean, you didn't tell me to show my hand.
So Hazard's Vegeta doesn't believe you exist. Here we go. Yeah, there you are. So we're going over like his changes that he's made to the game, and he's made a lot of changes.
Not really.
But we're using Goku and Ben 10 as examples to explain concepts in the game.
Which is a very odd way of explaining concepts.
It's fucking amazing.
But a forward counter is basically if you're facing forward and an enemy immediate counterattack on them.
So what if my power was to never be turned around from an enemy?
Then you always get a counter.
Huh. So I'm allowed to do shit like that, but I can't have the stream chat be on my sub communicator?
That's completely different. Jeff.
That's completely different? What if my power was to connect my sub communicator? That shouldn't even have to be a power. It's a fucking phone.
It's not a phone that connects to every single person. You can't just connect to people you don't know.
There are forums on the subspace communicator.
No, there isn't.
That's been a thing. Ask Jared. Jared's played this game hella.
I never had any forums.
You never checked the forums to see what other heroes were saying?
There were no forums.
Mm-hmm. You just never took advantage of your subspace communicator.
Also, as a side note, with the stats, they sort of exponentially rise. When you do stats.
0-1 crystal slot? Can you get more crystal slots and like level up in that way?
Yeah, like for the crystal.
You shouldn't have more than one slot.
Why not?
Man, what the fuck? The broken game. Game is broken forever.
Jay, you have to also remember that I'm not going to do things like allow you to time travel with space travel.
Well, crystal slots, having one slot is supposed to limit you to having like, you have to choose between what powers you're using.
So what limits a gadget hero from having multiple gadgets?
Your hands. If you're like, I use my ice gun, fire gun, and tree gun at the same time, I'd be like, how are you holding the tree gun?
I have a backpack with 4 robotic arms.
Then I'd allow it.
But then in your system, there wouldn't be damage scaling.
There wouldn't be. All the guns do. Well, no.
Because you have all the guns just be
they
one
all
damage.
do a d20. Yeah. Well, you could just have an enemy who's like, I'm only hurt by da-na-na-na. So it's like, only one of your guns deals a d20.
Yeah, you didn't do that when I was stuck in an energy dream. They were weak to whatever I had. Well, not weak, but they took damage from whatever I had, and you went and let the damage stack.
Well, I mean, they all got hit by your... Why would you be upset by landing hits, Matt?
Because I only landed 1 hit every time, even if I had like 4 guns.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
4 bullets means 4 hits.
Nah, dude. Because then weapons like that would be OP.
Yeah, and I was trapped in Dreamscape, so I wouldn't be able to take it outside of anywhere but the Dreamscape.
Mm-hmm. Which is great. Yeah, special dream powers, dude.
And you should have let them stack then, and you didn't. And I ended up dying in the Dreamscape because I was supposed to get into the dreamscape, and then getting into the dreamscape was actually a bad idea.
By the way, Matt is slightly salty over a previous gameplay of Jank Heroes, which I have
multiple gameplays.
Multiple previous gameplays of Jank Heroes.
Which is why this exists.
Which is why Jank Heroes Remix has been born. And this is what you guys should do. If you ever dislike a game, just remake it. Just make your own version of it. Hazardous Video is like, what are y'all talking about? So last semester, yo, Dokkan Gamer Z, welcome to the stream. Last semester I made a game
sounds like you plays Fire Emblem Heroes.
Last semester I made a Dokkan Gamer Z says it's been a long ass time. Yo, welcome. It's good to have you. Last semester I made a RPG called Jank Heroes, and a bunch of us played it. But at the time I didn't do like streams of us playing it. So now that I do a lot more streaming, and Mr. Hand over here, there we go, has created his own version of Jank Heroes called Jank Heroes Remix, which I kind of forced that name upon it. I'm pretty sure that's not what it was called. I'm like, this is the perfect time for us to start streaming it. So right now I'm looking over his changes he's made to the original game for the remix version.
But like, I think he sort of glossed over what I was initially saying with stat being exponential. Say you put like, because it's 1-to-1 for like bond for the stat. So like you start off with being able to buy power, speed, and health at like 1 per 1.
So for one bond,
you get 1 power.
Did you say you get 1 power?
1 power.
Like new ability?
Like 1 stat of power. There's a power stat.
There's a power stat?
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I skimmed over all that really fast then.
Yes.
So power is the new damage scale?
Yes and no. Like certain weapons will do certain amounts of damage, sort of like D&D, but like power will give you like a bonus to damage.
Okay. Dokkan Gamers.
And it also is useful for like certain bonuses for like if there is an activity that requires power.
What? Okay, real quick. Dokkan Gamer Z says, I've been busy because I bought myself a Nintendo Switch and it's lit.
It's pretty good.
So what is, and give an example for Ben 10 that would use power, like an activity.
So like if he was punching things with forearms, and like what I'm sort of going with is that the natural threshold is 20 for power and speed. Like that's like the base value if you're like, and it goes up and down based on multiples of 5.
Based on multiples of 5.
So like if you had 15 power, you'd have like -1 power, like a -1 power bonus.
If you had 15 what?
15 power.
Oh fuck! It is like D&D.
Yes and no.
Where they're related. I think I got you.
Yeah, it's sort of like D&D.
So it's a 1 to 5 rate.
Basically gives you like 1 in either direction depending on which one you are, compared to 20.
Okay, so at 20 you have like no power.
No power bonus.
But at 25 you have 1 power bonus.
Yes.
Okay, I feel you.
Same thing with speed.
So do you roll for stats then? At the start of the game?
Here's the funny thing. I was looking through your old documents. You actually did have a power stat initially.
A power stat?
You did.
I like how you're like, I was looking through your old documents. Matt's doing the research in order to hit up the game.
I needed to see how similar to make my game to yours, and I made it pretty similar.
Oh, Dokkan Gamer Z said, is this game downloadable?
No.
I need to put the rules in full of the old game onto the blog spot. But let me pull up the blog spot real quick, and I'll just put it into the live chat so you guys can see some of the documents, as Matt calls them, for the original Jank Heroes game.
Documents that didn't even cover the crystal dimension stuff.
What do you mean they didn't cover the...
Okay,
Get off my dick.
Okay, I meant the synopsis, I guess.
I mean, it covers the first few episodes.
Which had nothing with crystal dimension.
It actually is like before the crystal dimension shit really goes down.
It was way before Menace Day became God.
Quip covers the crystal dimension stuff, though. Yes. He explains everything. Yes. Yeah. So Quip.
But yeah, I actually look at this old stuff this time because clearly you didn't look at it.
Yeah, I looked at the side things more than the center thing.
I haven't.
You added Second Wind straight out of the game? Straight out of D&D?
I didn't know D&D actually had Second Wind.
Yeah, Second Wind is a fighter thing.
Okay, well, the second one's in this game now.
Fucking.
Here's the thing, I also haven't finalized costs for the bond shop stuff, other than like stats.
True. Let's see. So speed is like how we had
It's not
reactions.
Yes, and like it's a couple of things. It's like for speed related things. It's also for
Speed is for speed related things.
well, it's just like powers for power related things. But like also it's sort of important for like actions to a certain extent.
Would Goku's Kamehameha deal more damage if he had higher power?
No, because like Zol bursts are sort of like a static power, but they are generally higher than what you would normally reach.
Well, not like Ben 10's Kamehameha.
No.
Goku's natural Kamehameha. Is it more powerful if he has more power? Is essentially what I'm asking.
To a certain extent, yes, I would say so.
So
like the only thing that and this is probably not gonna maybe look the greatest for like gadget heroes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like power affects gadgets per se.
That makes sense. It sounds like it's a personal stat.
Right.
Yeah.
So unless it was like a sword or something, but like if it was like a gun, I don't think power would really affect it. Which would sort of hurt gadget heroes a little bit because the whole point of gadget heroes is that you're supposed to be able to fluidly go from melee to range as you desire.
What's a relic?
Relics they're like ancient gadgets. Like they could have like really good effects, but they're normally not accessible to anybody.
Like Link's tablet or whatever?
Huh?
Like Link's tablet?
Link's tablet.
From Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah. That might be an example of one, but it would probably be a bit more impressive than that.
It would be more impressive than an iPad?
I guess it's sort of interesting because
he does a lot. He does the magnet shit.
Magnets,
the bombs.
Kyro,
he has infinite bombs.
Well, not infinite. It's on a timer.
He never runs out. Like
2 different types of bombs. The ability to freeze time for a little bit.
Yeah, that iPad is hella powerful.
That's pretty useful.
That sounds like a relic to me.
Yeah.
What's gadget manipulation?
I guess it'd be like a further. Let me see how I add this setup again.
Yeah, because I thought that was interesting.
Because I have
also,
gadgets, combined gadgets,
being able to remove 2s is bullshit, Matt. That should
1, 2. A2.
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 How much does that cost?
A lot. Remember, you can only get 0 to 10 bond with any individual.
What if my power was remove power?
I wouldn't let you.
You wouldn't let me? But how can I always face my enemy?
That's not that bad.
What if there are 36 people surrounding me?
Then you can only face the enemy that you consider your enemy at that moment.
What if all of them are trying to fight me?
Well, you have to fight one at a time then. You'd screw yourself.
How does my power screw myself?
Because you can't face 36 people at the same time, so you'd have to face only one of them. So you could easily get back attacked by other people.
What if it was like a biolocation thing suddenly? It's not necessarily that I'm in multiple places at once in any other aspect than facing them. If that makes sense.
So you're saying having like multiple yous facing multiple people? If you were facing multiple people?
But only one of them is really like the real me. Like the other ones do nothing else but face the person.
So in other words, like double team stuff.
Kind of, except it only is so that I can get counterattack. It's only to be like,
no.
Technically,
no.
I'm in front of them.
No.
What if I shared their sight, though? So I could see all the things they see. But of course, all they see is the enemy.
I would say it's a 1-to-1 thing with that, where you have to face one opponent at a time if you do that. And you want to be able to unlock yourself until you defeat them.
What if my opponent clones?
Then you probably lock onto the one that was real. So that's a benefit.
What if their clones are like clones that are just as tangible as they are?
You'd focus on the one who summoned clones.
So I'd only be able to identify the real one.
Right.
The original. Well, I mean,
there are benefits,
real. Yeah.
Non-benefits to it.
It is interesting. It's filled with blood still? Hold on. Let me read The World in Springdale. I want to see what lore changes
are
you did.
Are you done with this? Because,
Oh, no, we're definitely coming back to that. You have a lot of shit.
I keep trying to...
You can get more health. I just noticed as well.
You're not screwed if you get, 15 health.
15? You could survive.
Not if we had ninja scrolls with no damage scaling.
Ninja scrolls with no damage scaling. You could always roll a 1 on your ninja scroll.
You could also roll a 20 and kill yourself.
Yeah, the way ninjas worked in the original Jank Heroes is that you'd have to harm yourself. Excuse me. Using I guess like a kunai or something. And then you would drip your blood onto the scroll and it would activate your powers.
But because there's no damage scaling, a knife could do the equivalent as being in the sun.
Did you say the equivalent of... Oh, like being inside of the sun.
It does the same amount of damage as being cut a tiny bit on the finger.
Yeah. There's... Everything in the original Jank Heroes dealt a D20. Like, no matter what.
Hence, I changed that. So there is damage scaling this time around.
Damage scaling sounds like it'll be cancer. I gotta...
It sounds like you won't just take D20 in the sun.
Yeah. That...
You should be incinerated if you're in the sun.
Unless it's only a D20.
Shit.
Let's see.
Well, like the last thing with stats is that, again, because it's 1-to-1, and because it's exponential, basically you put one bond into power, you get that one bond. Next, that power upgrade would then turn into a 2. So then you put 2 bond in it, you get 2 bond. Or 2 power.
Wait a minute. So if I put 1 into it, I get 1 power.
Right.
But if I put 2 into it,
you get an additional 2 power.
I get 2 power.
Right, but it goes up in like staples. Like it's I shouldn't say it's exponential because it's not. It's more like the doubling example, like the rice doubling example. So like it goes 1, 2, 4, 8, 16.
So is it that I'm putting in more to get more, or am I putting in less to get more?
You're putting in. It's always 1-to-1 no matter what.
It's always 1 to. Oh well.
But it's just that
isn't that self-explanatory though?
Well, it is to a certain extent, but like it's more the fact that it's not like free 1-to-1. You can't put like 3 bond in to get 3 power.
So it's only even 1-to-1.
It's only based on like the multiples that are given to you. So like it goes 1 power, 2 power, 4 power, 8 power.
Oh, it's always double.
It's always double.
So like 6 power doesn't give you anything.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, okay, I got you. I understand
and
it a
it's
little
the
bit
same
more
for the other 2 stats as well.
Okay, and it makes like progression a little bit slower.
Right.
You're always working towards something.
You can always, you still have to spend bond for those, so you'd be either spending bond on your stats or you can do it for one of the various skill trees.
Mm-hmm.
So you're choosing, basically. You're choosing whether you want to save bond for a skill or if you want to put some bond into your stats. Again, I haven't done anything for the values for these skills except
for... Is pushing real?
Yes.
Crystal recoil negated. Why are all your crystal things like, let's make crystal users really good?
They also cost a lot.
Mm-hmm. When there are no costs written on the page.
I'd probably say like no recoil would probably be 20 bond.
Manus Day would get that in a moment.
It's not that easy to get bond. You only get like 1 or 2 bond per like bond session with someone.
We'll see. We'll see how he finesses.
Maybe 3 at best.
But real quick, I want to see what you did with the story.
Yeah, there's like a lot.
Yeah. King X, a force of destruction, moves throughout the universe, erasing all in its path. Heroes that indicate their worth as interdimensional protectors will be given any one item enchanted by the Energens, a race of plasma controllers. The item will contain the soul of an Energen and will enable manipulation and generation of constructs. So from the start of the game, you've already introduced the Energens and the
I felt that was fine.
Energy objects. Okay. That's cool.
That's basically 1-to-1 with what you said, except I changed a tiny bit of the wording on it.
So, yeah, this straight up is the Energen section.
There is a tiny bit hidden into there, depending on how you looked at yours compared to mine.
I think the difference is that... No, isn't it the same? What's the...
There is like...
Is it the item difference?
There is
something with that?
There is one key difference, and I'm not really going to go into it because it's sort of more like a appeal thing based on it. If you can find out early on, that's fine.
Plasma controllers. Rather than them being made out of plasma themselves?
I don't think you specified that in yours.
What?
You can look it up.
Yeah, I mean, I can.
It's your blog spot. You should know everything.
I mean, you know, I wrote it last semester. You were here.
It wasn't even last semester. It was the semester before that.
Oh, you're right, because last semester was the summer.
Last semester was, well, not even that. You did it during fall. Was when you started.
Oh, right. Have we really not? I did a little. No, fuck. I don't know. Have I only done it since the fall?
Fall, and then you did it in spring.
Okay, so nothing in winter.
But I quit in
guess.
spring.
Yeah, you were like, "Fuck, Jank, here it is," and here you are, You're remaking it. You came back. Yeah, self-organizing plasma in the depths of space is the first thing.
But
have evolved into sentient energy beings.
Oh, does it actually? Okay. Fine.
Yeah, it's the first sentence.
Okay,
man.
well, maybe they're also made of plasma. Who knows?
No, they're a race of plasma controllers. I just read it in your lore.
Well, I never specified what the race was made of.
Plasma controllers made of plasma.
Of course.
And that's fair. That's essentially what the heat blast things are like.
And besides, you have them making plasma constructs anyway.
Oh, by the way, Ben 10 just dropped hella lore videos for the rebooted series.
You mean like the really bad cartoon series?
The reboots are right, I guess. I actually really like the lore. It was lore on the individual planets that the aliens came from.
We're talking about the fourth one, right? Unless there's a fifth one now.
You don't know about the Ben 10 reboot?
There was original Ben 10, then there was like Omnitrix, then there was like.
Oh my gosh.
Then there was the new like
Matt.
Teen Titans Go Ben 10.
That's more what I'm talking about.
Oh,
that one.
No, that's bad.
Hold on, but you fucked up the order. Are you trying to go chronologically? Is that why you messed up?
In terms of like seasons.
They came out in this order: Ben 10, Ben 10 Alien Force, Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, Ben 10 Omniverse reboot.
Oh, there's 5?
There's 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
This one was only 4.
Omniverse is really good if you haven't seen it, which I feel like you haven't.
No.
Yeah. Omniverse, they introduced the idea of having 11-year-old Ben not like at the same time, like the stories will swap between the two. And then there was a big storyline involving an alien that the 11-year-old Ben lost, and then older Ben, like after going through like childhood trauma and shit and getting through it, re-unlocks it through a big character development moment. I feel like it was a really way to
Okay, for a second though, I thought you were saying that
it's a solid arc.
Original Ben 10 lost an alien and found it. Because I remember an episode where young Ben 10 met like Teen Ben 10.
Oh yeah, there have been a few. Ultimate Alien did that with the crossover between younger Ben 10 and like Teen.
And that was how Kevin 11 just sort of like freaked out and decided he was going to be a villain again.
I don't think so. It's been a
like
minute.
Kevin 11 absorbed something and then he decided he was going to be a villain again because of what he absorbed.
I think the the problem with Ultimate Alien is that Ultimate Alien is one of the only Ben 10 series where I didn't watch everything. Ultimate Alien and Alien Force, I think I slacked a little bit. I've seen all of the original Ben 10 and I've seen all of Omniverse. I was really good about those two.
Middle two.
Well, I didn't skip them as much as like I watched them on syndicated television, so it was like harder to watch all of them. You know what I mean? Ben 10 I also watched on syndicated television,
But you watched it all.
but I was younger. I don't know. I guess it was easier to watch all of it at once. A lot of shit was happening during the Alien Force Ultimate Alien series. Oh wait. I can't get too off track though. I was reading your story, talking about the Energens. Yo, the Grand Canyon, which is only 3 miles from Springdale and is filled with blood. Is that a real sentence? The Grand Canyon, which is only 3 miles from Springdale and is filled with blood, doesn't feel like a complete thought.
It's probably not a complete sentence.
Yeah.
But it states facts.
It is facts. Well, the blood actually got drained from the Grand Canyon at a certain point.
Remember, this isn't entirely the same universe.
Right. Wait, why didn't...
Certain events took place like the same way, but not all of them occurred the same way.
Oh, right, because this is still connected to the earlier sheet.
Yes.
That talked about the dimensions fusing. You didn't really do well at describing the fact that it's a reboot. Not to like shit on it.
I don't know if I actually did or not, but like, it's more like because I haven't even really made the opening like story bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like King X, you'd think is opening story, but it really isn't.
I doubt you're gonna have King X destroy everything.
Well, like there's probably a way to stop them, unlike yours where it seemed impossible.
It did seem impossible. Um, oh, golden apples can grant an individual any random power, and golems of power can be fought for the power they utilize. You made golems of power a little bit different.
Yeah, because I think golems are also random.
Yeah, golems are also random. You had to fight
them like mimics or something like that.
Yeah, they're mimics.
But like mimics was bad because they're normally like treasure chest beings, not like sentient golem things like you had them be.
Yeah, the way that I had mimics was like they were clay heroes essentially.
Yeah.
So you think you're fighting like Captain Super, but it's not really Captain Super. It's the mimic version of them, and you have to rip the red orb out of their chest, and you get a random power.
A random power from that.
I don't think they should match, because if you got Captain Super's powers, it's like you would be like, too overpowered.
Well, like here's the thing: Golem of powers only have one power.
Oh well, they got nerfed. You nerfed the shit out of mimics too. It was supposed to be like a legitimate challenge to beat them to get
like their power could be interesting.
I mean, sure. I mean, you're not wrong. They're still weaker than they used to be. They used to have a set of interesting powers.
Well, like you had two things that gave granted random powers. One of them way less dangerous than the other, technically.
Golden apples are dangerous because of the existence of Eris. Is Eris still in this game?
Probably.
Probably. That means you haven't put thought into Eris. At least the golden apples are.
I'm also working off of 6 synopsises that barely
like scratch the surface of the actual like full-on story. Yeah,
so I'm doing it based off of my memory as a player, which a lot of things weren't said when I was a player.
True. Mirrors do not exist, which I like that you mention the existence of the mirrors in the sentence that says they don't exist. You are guided by a mysterious voice that shatters all mirrors, clearly indicating that they existed in order to shatter. The path in front of you is yours. Indicating.
That's the only like opening story bit that I have cemented is that mirrors don't exist.
I wonder if the shattering of the mirrors has any like special additional like story meaning, because you've merged the crystal dimension and the bond dimension and made them sentient beings where they're kind of like the Energens in a way. And then
I mean, I didn't make them sentient. You made them sentient.
You made them sentient. Get off my dick. Hold on. You totally made them sentient.
I just said they fused.
The bond dimension through a selfless act is the fact that they have intent in their fusion. It's not like it happened. Like it can't be a selfless act without them.
But like I feel like acting. Life force can exist without sentience.
So they're just alive?
Yes.
That's weird too. I don't know how to.
The Earth's alive.
You don't feel like it has some intelligence?
I don't think the Earth has really any intelligence. It's alive, but it doesn't really have an intelligence per se.
So then, wait, hold on. I haven't even gotten to them yet. So does that mean that the tribunal still exists?
Oh, they definitely exist.
And then they'd be protecting like a living being, like not just the living beings in the crystal dimension.
But also,
what happened to them when like Dave and Crystal and like combined? What happened to the beings of the crystal? Well, they should be affected the most.
Well, everybody has bond, obviously. But otherwise,
do they have more bond?
No. It was just a single pulse wave jet.
But they're like at the source. Remember, I'm not sure if you watched The Flash.
I didn't.
But the particle accelerator goes off in Central City, and then a bunch of metahumans appear in Central City. So the bond burst went off in the crystal dimension, but the crystal dimension people don't get like an extra bonus from it?
No.
I don't know. That seems kind of weird.
Yeah, it was same frequency, same wavelength throughout the entire multiverse.
We'll see. I am going to remix your remix at some point. The Wellspring is the source of all sorceress magic. So you didn't want to go hard with the Wellspring having like specific different types of magic.
Well, like it has sorceress magic in the terms of like how a regular mage has magic, but it's not like all magic period, because there are other forms of magic, obviously. I feel like sorceress magic is more akin to your magic.
But you didn't go with the yellow, red, black.
I didn't specify that, no.
Also, yellow, red, black, blue, I think was the other
I
one.
believe it.
And it's not yellow, it's gold.
It was gold.
Yeah.
And they were all pretty bad.
Okay, because you didn't like the magic system, I can't blame you for being like, let's just get past it.
Well, like, if someone were to stumble upon the wellspring, then I'd probably reinvent it.
That'd be interesting. Two ninja clans have been at war with each other for centuries. They are the White Kitsunes and the Black Dragons. Did you change their names? Or
Yes, I did.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, that isn't what they were before.
It's actually ninja-like.
What was the white one before?
White foxes
The White Foxes?
and black wolves.
I'm glad that it wasn't the White Fang. That would have been an interesting coincidence. It's really close, though.
I mean, Kitsune is like Nine-Tailed Fox, so actually more ninja-like.
Yeah, while still like sticking true with it. And what was the black one again?
Dragon,
So you went from wolves to dragons.
because wolves aren't ninja-like at all.
Well, what? I disagree with wolves not being ninja-like. They can be like stealthy hunters that jump on their prey from the shadows.
But
Dude.
they're not.
How are dragons ninja-like?
Were you?
No, stop. Stop. Dragons, I don't feel like embody a ninja. It's cool, like, culturally, but not, like...
But that's the whole point.
It doesn't relate as well.
And on top of that, those two different types of clans would obviously have different power scrolls.
Also, if you had a white fox in front of, like, a black wolf, that's, like, a really cool, like, natural dynamic. If you have a white fox in front of a black dragon, the white fox is getting fucked, dude.
Yet, remember, this is a Nine-Tails mythical fox.
Mm-hmm. It's fucking Okami is what it is.
There actually is a Nine-Tails boss in Okami.
Mhm.
It's great.
These ninjas utilize ninja magic in the form of power scrolls. Did you take out hurting yourself for power scrolls?
No,
Or
you
is that
still
so-
hurt yourself,
Okay.
but it's not nearly to the extent of bleeding out from a tiny knife cut in the finger.
Torvor said, and dragons are. So, relating back to what we were just talking about, we just went over the two ninja clans that are in the Jank Heroes remix. It's the White Kitsune and the Black Dragons. Excuse me. And they're at war in another universe, right?
Yeah.
Yep, at war for centuries. Wait, hold on. You don't say. You don't say whether or not they're from another universe.
I don't say.
It sounds like they're just in our world.
Well, in our multiverse world, yeah, they are.
Trying to get vague, even though like you just didn't plan. You didn't think about it.
I wrote 5 pages, Jet. Leave me alone.
You wrote 5 pages. I am glad that you wrote pages. 101 pounds. Hold on, I need to step back. I saw that you had outlined the crystals. Holy fuck, people put those in their chest.
I don't think it's 101 pounds, actually.
Oh my
Let
gosh.
me see it.
Torvor said, I know, I agree that wolves are more ninja-like. Yeah.
Oh, it's 10 pounds, Jet.
What?
L.
L? Oh, it's the L in pounds. I thought it was 101 pounds.
Good job, Jet.
And then I thought the other crystals were 51 pounds. And I was like, oh my gosh. That's fucking amazing. But each universe has a power armor factory on top of a hill. Power armor runs for $5,000, and the area around the factory suffers from constant fighting as people try to reach the factory. That more or less is the same. Along with the normal stores of the multiverse, there exists Richard's Emporium of Interdimensional Travel and George's Animals and Pals. Riet?
Riet and Gap.
Riet sells upgrades and even full vehicles for interdimensional travel. Gap sells various animals that can be an individual's pet. So I imagine you took whatever they were called before and made them acronym names?
Well, they didn't have names before.
Whoa, hold on. I had, like, no-name people?
Yeah, they were just interdimensional pet shop or something like that.
Oh, shit. Well, that's interesting. That's, like, an interesting change to the lore, to give them names. Even though you kind of didn't. I mean, Gap sounds like a name. Riet doesn't. It's because
well, like
you put
it's
them in all
Richard and
caps.
George. to be
Richard
fair.
and George?
Technically, it's just their acronyms for their stores.
Let's see. Oh, it's the same individuals that you like put before. Oh shit, yeah. I just got that.
Good job.
I thought you were naming different things. Yeah, all players start with a crystal starter bag that carries 40 pounds worth of crystals. Or non-crystal users start with a 40-pound bag.
I think I'll just make it a 40-pound bag in general for both of them because it actually is very circumstantial.
You're not saying a bag that can hold 40 pounds. You're saying a bag that weighs 40 pounds.
Okay, Jet, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. You used it like 10-gallon hat. Like as if it was like, that was how you say it. These bags can trace the items that are within them. And if... What?
So here's the thing. You got on me for saying that if anybody can use anybody's crystals, then it would be bad. So I'm like, okay, these bags sense the items within it. And if those items are taken out by someone who isn't the owner, after a certain period of time, they're just going to sort of transport themselves back into the bag.
So that's essentially to... So what if I willingly give something to someone else?
Then you'd be fine because you were the one who took it out of the bag.
Okay, so only if someone else was to rob you.
Yes.
This is different.
It's very different.
Let's see.
Because this makes it more legitimate to have crystals be used by anybody.
Nope, it's supposed to be a bonding thing. And now that the crystal dimension is a part of the bond dimension, it makes more sense for it to be a bond.
But bond is different from the crystal dimension. Like, I don't understand how you are mixing, like, the... How are you mixing, like, the bond with your power with those powers have to be specific to you? How can you have... Here's the thing. You got on me saying that you can't have, like, these sentient... Like, I'm having these sentient beings. Mm-hmm. How can you have bond with a crystal when they don't have sentience in the first place?
So the idea is that it's not bond as in, like, you have bond points with the crystals, but you would push and it would, like, form in your crystal socket. Like,
but it's not about bond per se.
You forge it from, like, your own power.
You're taking a bit of the crystal dimension's power when you do that.
Yeah, and you, like...
But it's not a bond.
It's like, it came from you. It's like a part of you.
It's a part of me, yes, but it's still not yours.
It's
the crystal dimensions, and you basically stole it from them.
I mean, you did, but you did it in a... You still had to push for it.
It's pushing, and you can take penalties for it, yes, but it's not a bond per se. It's not like my bond.
Man, I know things I'll definitely do with my remix. With
bond is more like the inner ties between people.
Yeah.
But you don't have inner ties with your power.
I don't feel like you should get bond points, but I feel like it should be unique to you. I could push, and then it's just like my power is now open to the whole world. And I don't know. It doesn't feel as special anymore. What if Goku went Super Saiyan God, and now... That's
a natural ability.
Now friend. It's just open for everyone.
That's a natural ability, friend.
I mean, in this game... Would he not have push?
He's an alien. Why wouldn't he have Super Saiyan as just like a natural, innate ability?
What if I decided my player character is an alien?
He's specifically a Saiyan.
Yeah, let's see.
But generally speaking, we... and Jank generally start as a human anyway.
0 crystals or 10 pounds?
I kept the pounds the same, but I boosted the bag so that you can actually hold more.
Man, boo.
Because it's sort of silly to have only 2 zeros.
Then a 1 crystal is 5 pounds and requires a check for usage. So you have 0 abilities and you have 1 abilities.
Yes.
For 0 abilities, you can just freely use your powers, but for 1 abilities, you have to roll a check.
Yes.
And you can pass or fail the check.
Yes.
2s are abilities that players can't do. So if you have a 2 for a power, that means that it's something that your powers aren't capable of. See you when you get back, Kirby. Let's see. Each crystal user starts with a 0.5 crystal, which has the weight and potential of a 0 and a 1 crystal. What the fuck did you just say?
So, this is also a slight retort to you getting mad at me for having all the crystals being available to everybody. It's not available to everybody. It's specific to you.
And
it's basically a combined 1 and 0 crystal.
What does it weigh? 15?
15 pounds.
It weighs 15 pounds. And do I roll checks sometimes?
It depends on to what extent you're taking your power.
So it has a 0 and a 1 ability.
Yes.
So it's the old game, but for 1 crystal.
I didn't play the old game, Jed.
Man, you know this. Fucking the 0.5 crystal is specific to each hero. All other crystals can be used by any crystal user, which is what you said. Is fully immune to the power of crystals. Hey, that's true to the OG. Crystal users can push for more crystals. However, this hurts the crystal dimension a tiny bit each time. In order to push the crystal slot must be empty. True. Each push can be a 0 or 1 crystal, or a 2. Failing the first check prevents the 0. Failing the second check makes the power a 2. True. Each player starts with a subspace communicator, a starting bag, a secret base of their choosing, an apartment in the Springdale Heights, a supercomputer in their secret base, 3D 20s for money. Whoa! Why do they have so much fucking money?
Because they don't actually have that much money.
3D 20s that's $60.
$60 is nothing, Jet.
Dude,
it's everything to you because you don't have a job.
$60 is so great in this fucking game world, dude.
Jet,
$60.
$60 is nothing. Power armor's $5,000.
Dude, but what about everything else?
You don't pay for everything else.
You fucked up the economy, man.
Jet, you don't pay for food. You don't pay for your apartment. You don't pay for your secret base.
I got you. I'll prove to you in like 2 seconds.
Your pets were cheap, but they're going to be a bit more expensive here.
Mm-hmm. You've yet to establish prices for shit.
Because I haven't determined what pets I'm going to have.
Let's find the old price list real quick.
You didn't have that many prices to begin with.
I got you.
Also,
Dimension pets can be as low as $8.
They're going to be way more than $8.
What's 60 divided by 8?
7 and some.
That's like getting 7 free fucking powers, dude. That's 7 free powers.
They're going to be more than $8. Also, Tri-Armor Battle Arena's not there. The Battle Arena's not there.
Yeah, what about my Robo Duplicate to do my job?
That's not there because that's wasteful.
It's It's for like if you're really into your hero shit.
Jed, nobody's into their hero stuff enough to not want to bond with people, especially now that the bond system's more important.
Jared.
Especially because the bond system's more important.
That was a heavy change. I didn't see that coming. That's a lot of money. But now I guess there's money scaling. The money gets rescaled. And the specific starting gear of the hero archetype chosen.
So like if you're a crystal hero, you'd have your crystals, obviously.
If you're a ninja, you'd have like your scrolls, I guess. And then I guess scroll,
because that's what you had initially.
Yeah, they don't have like 0s and 1s.
No.
They just fight or they have a scroll.
Yeah.
And
most people don't start off with weapons except for gadget heroes because they have their gadget.
Well, everyone gets an energen thing.
No, they don't.
An energen item.
You have to prove your worth, remember?
Right. Okay, I got you. So everyone starts off with that sounds like a tutorial thing for me. Like, I imagine you go in your subspace communicator and it'd be a thing where it's like, everybody has constructs. I'd be like, well, fuck it. I gotta go get a construct now. You know, I wouldn't just let that slide.
I'm not letting everybody be Green Lantern right off the bat.
I'm gonna be watch me be Green Lantern off the bat. I got you, Matt. You're not even ready.
I mean, then you wouldn't have any need to get the energen stuff.
Oh, we'll see. Check this shit out. Okay. Players can choose to be a crystal user or a gadget hero. Alternatively, other specific roles are possible. However, this will cause changes to the Zol shop for that specific character, along with other elements such as starting gear. Oh, fuck. So if I choose to be neither, then
like if you were to be a ninja, for instance, I couldn't give you like the starting gear of like a gadget hero. And I couldn't let you have like the skill shop for the gadget hero. I'd have to make a different skill shop specifically to tailor to that class.
Interesting. Tribunals are the defenders of the crystal dimension. They fear the might of a certain individual if they involve themselves in the prevention of crystal pushers. So they gather champions to fight for them in death bouts. Is your guy really important? Like one of your older characters? and you brought him back in the game.
The great almighty powerful god, Menace Day.
Menace Day? Why would Menace Day be against them?
Because he's part of the great cataclysm, remember?
Yo, Zolex, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you.
That's the whole point of the universal reset, was that Menace Day had to reset the universe.
Spoilers?
No,
that's not even on the page.
It's not, but it's part of the, it's going to be definitively part of the opening stuff.
Oh, by the way, this video is going to split into an episode 2, which will be actual gameplay.
Oh, I also got to eat food.
Oh, yeah, then that's perfect. And we're almost done looking over the thing.
But I don't want to go and immediately go into gameplay after eating food. This took a while, Jet.
Well, I mean, gameplay will only be an hour if we keep to that old rule where, like...
I don't really want to do an hour right after eating, though, Jet.
Is it like swimming? Champions are given interdimensional passes, and people without these passes can be taken by the tribunals and be forced into death bouts. That's interesting.
That's more or less how.
Oh, that was how it was. You're right. That's exactly how it was.
Instead of tournaments, which made no sense for a single match, they're actually death bouts.
You're right. Tournaments do involve more fighters. There are rewards for whoever wins a death bout, and the challenge party is granted a grace period from challenges, which can dramatically decrease if pushing occurs or interdimensional travel without a pass occurs. So, the grace period, is it arbitrary, or is it based on a roll? Or?
It's probably going to be based on a roll or something like that.
That's interesting.
It might be arbitrary. I'd have to think that through.
Yeah. I dig what you've done so far with the story and everything. Do you want me to keep these, or do you want to keep them for reference? Because it sounds like you're still actually building it.
I mean, it doesn't really matter who keeps it.
Well, it totally matters.
No, it doesn't.
Because if you want to build and you're not here, then it'll be like, I was going to build the story, but I couldn't build the...
I'm more or less building the story like you did.
Is it possible for you to type that into a comment on the Jank Heroes blog spot so that it's on the blog spot?
There's a lot of typing.
Oh, yo, Vegeta, welcome to the
Plus,
stream.
I can't really put a chart.
Vegeta said, why are you talking by yourself? Yo, this is Mr. Hand. So the whole point of this video is that I made an RPG last semester, and Matt got salty, so he made a remix version of the RPG.
Don't tell them I got salty. I got completely screwed over twice.
So we were going over the changes to the story, which seems less relevant to you guys because you never Jank Heroes.
No, guys, just look for Jank Heroes episode 1 and Jet's videos. You'll find it, I promise.
No, there's no Jank Heroes episode 1. Don't let Matt fool you. Here's a link to some of the old.
Subscribe when you find that video.
Subscribe when you find the video. Gosh. But yeah, this has been Jank Heroes Remix episode 1. It's been
episode 0.
There's like no context in this episode.
No, there isn't.
For like anything.
No, there isn't, Chet. This was a great stream to make.
Vegeta said, "Tell him to drink some lemon. It would lower the salt."
I don't really like lemons.
Dang, he doesn't want to resist the salt, Vegeta.
I mean, when you die twice, I would imagine you'd be a little bit salty.
We'll see. We'll see. You are the GM now. Is it time for me to die twice when you come back from?
No, I actually would make it fair today. It's not necessarily that you're going to definitively die twice for doing things that are supposed to be fun.
Mm-hmm. We will see, Matt. We will.
I wouldn't make you roll into something that was actually bad.
Oh, by the way. So when you come back, are you ready to do a Jank Heroes remix gameplay?
No.
What about 15 minutes after you come back?
I'd like a little bit more time. I'd like to do something different.
Like play a multiplayer game?
Depends. I've actually got the Switch right now.
Oh, snap. You have the Switch?
Yes.
You didn't even mention you had the Switch. We could do like a whole stream.
That's another stream, Jeff.
But it'd be a stream where we're playing a game and we're talking. It's kind of like Game Grumps, but not. Because we're not Game Grumps. Unless, who's not so grump? Am I not so grump? If we were like Game Grumps?
I mean, you just called me salty, so...
Damn. Are you salt and I'm like sodium free? Oh, dude, we got to make that a thing. Okay, I guess you would start by saying, "Hey, I'm Salt." This is going to be a real thing.
I'm not making this a real thing, Jed.
Vegeta said, "Is this the only live stream you doing?" Nah, fam. Mr. Hand is about to go eat, and when Mr. Hand goes to eat, I'm going to do a few 15-minute streams.
Why are you doing multiple 15? Why don't you just make one bigger stream?
So what's cool about the 15s is I can jump from game to game. So it'll be like
On top of
15
that, I'm
minutes
just
of
getting
this,
Papa John's.
15 minutes of that. Oh, you're getting Papa John's and
Yes,
coming back
they're
over?
definitively open this time around.
Oh, like you know for a fact.
Well, I saw people with pizza boxes, so...
Matt, don't be fooled.
And that can be full, and they're real this time, I promise.
Oh, Vegeta said his chicken is ready for this. Vegeta said, tell the hand to give me some hand.
No.
He just wants hand for his chicken.
But that
Is that like a side dish for cannibals?
that would require me doing something for the audience.
Oh, dude, you do plenty for the audience.
I don't do anything.
You provide the salt.
I'm the villain of the stream, Jet.
Nah. Then why do I win all the time? Because I'm a better character than Ruby. Ruby boys. Yo, so Matt is about to head out. While Matt is out, I'll do a few 15-minute streams, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We're also going to do more Jank Heroes later on. Vegeta says, does the hand give some good hand? You already know the answer to that question, Vegeta. And thank you all for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like this video. Favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding, ring that bell to be notified whenever we do the live stream. And also, if you're already subscribed, share this video with a friend so they may subscribe as well and join in on the festivities. This was a really weird first episode.
Should have called it episode 0.
I'll call it like episode 1, and then I'll say the remixing. Then
the remixing of the thing that doesn't exist on your channel. Then
episode 2 will be hashtag actual gameplay.
Yeah, you bait and switched everybody in your audience. Jet, how do you feel? How do you feel about that clickbait title?
I mean, if anything, it's a lore video. Didn't you and Jonathan say you like lore videos?
Lore videos are great, but you hate them.
Vegeta said, tell the hand that yesterday was some good hand. Yesterday was some good hand.
I mean, I wasn't there, so.
You weren't yesterday?
I'm not yesterday. I'm Mr. Hand.
Oh, man. He was never yesterday, Vegeta. So Vegeta's confused. I'd be confused, too. How are you not yesterday? How do you not fuck with the time?
Because I'm not called yesterday.
If that was how time worked, that'd be pretty crazy. But yeah, we're about to start a 15-minute stream, so make sure that you all stay tuned for more content. This is your host and your boy, Jet Black, with...
Mr. Hand.
I don't think they actually heard you.
Mr. Hand.
Logging out. Peace. Also, Vegeta says that he loves you.
I don't love you.
Damn. Whoa, no. He sent you the eggplant, though.